Welcome to part 2, people, and let's see what else we can do with linear gradients. Alright, let me remove the repeating pattern so I can show you something else, a small trick. And let me go back to percentages. Let's say 50% for the salmon color stopper. I'm going to repeat the same value out here for the dark red. 50%. Okay, and I'm gonna make this 100%. Alright, let's see what kind of an effect do we get out here. Let's save the document up, let's bring up Chrome, let's refresh, and people, as you can see, this trick where I use the first two values exactly the same for the first two colors, it separates the colors like this, right? So just a cool effect, people. Now let me make some more change. Let's say left and space separated. Let's say save. Let's bring up the browser, and this is something that we had already seen. Cool. Now I'm going to talk about how we can use linear gradients with browsers which are not WebKit browsers. I told you that in this this part of the tutorial we'll look at that, and we'll also tackle IE 6, 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8 and 9, anything which is less than 10 basically, right? So let's make sensible changes out here. So let this be 33%, let this be 66%. Let's save the document up, bring up the browser, let's refresh. Yep, so evenly spread out. Now let's see how I can make this compatible with Firefox 3.6 Plus. And I'm just gonna copy this bit, I'm gonna paste it down below out here, and the only change, people, that you need to create is that you just need to remove the WebKit vendor prefix and replace it with the Moz for Mozilla Firefox vendor prefix, right? Let's test the truth out in Firefox. Just coming up. Alright, pretty cool. And likewise, let's see what changes are required for IE. The only change, Moz becomes MS, and the support is for IE 10. I don't have IE 10, so I simply can't test it, but you can do so at your end. And let's see, what do we need to do for Opera 11.10 plus. Just have the O for Opera going out here as the vendor prefix, and we are good to test in Opera now. So basically all that we need to do is just change the vendor prefixes, people. That is all. Alrighty, so you see how cool it looks out here too. Let's close it up. Now what actually is a little bit of a bother is that how many people do actually use IE 10? At least even I don't do that. So what do I do for them? As I mentioned earlier in the last part of this tutorial, that we can have a conditional comment going, which you can actually link up with an external style sheet, the way that are actually done out here. This is the style sheet that's been linked to the main HTML document through the conditional comment. This conditional comment, people, is going to be read only by IE versions 10 and less. LT stands for less than IE 10. Okay, so any IE version which is less than 10 is gonna follow this link and land on this CSS page, and is gonna obey whatever it finds out here inside this CSS file. So here you have the filter property, set to progate DX image transform, Microsoft gradient, start color, end color, gradient type. Oh, it's too long, winded, complicated, twisted. So at least I can never remember this. I always need to Google it up. So I would best advise you to grab this ie.css file from my website, which is http://qualitylessons.net/downloads1, that's number 1.html. all right. In fact, I'll keep the gradient check or the gradient.html file along with the ie.css file out there for you to grab, and you can grab all the code out here. All right. So that's how we're going to tackle IE. Notice that I've used the hash LG as the selector, and LG, if you remember, is the same as the ID for the only division that we have out here. So that is how you're going to tackle IE 6, 7, 8 and 9, and anything lower than 6 too. Yep. What about IE 10? As we've already seen in line number 24, this is gonna fetch, IE 10 is gonna fetch, line number 25 is gonna change according to this. All right. Anything lower than IE 10 is gonna work according to the rules set out here in ie.css file. So it's that very simple, people. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's test it out in IE to see if the externally lying CSS file ie.css actually works for us, and why not? Okay, now you're gonna get a surprise out here. With the IE browsers, the older versions, that is, you're allowed just 2 colors as your gradients. Also notice that it's actually running from left to the right, not from top to the bottom. I can easily edit that if I go to the ie.css file, and you notice that we have a comma gradient type 1 written out here and out here. Okay, so all you need to do is remove the comma, and the gradient type is equal to 1 from here, comma, and the gradient type is equal to 1 out here. Just remove it, delete it, and then the gradient will be top bottom instead of left to right. That is a small minor change that you need to make in case you need to make it. So basically, just remember that you're actually constrained to 2 colors only in IE, and you must specify your color names in hexadecimal codes, people, 6 digits, not color names. I'm not so sure that's gonna work. All right, so just that little bit of caution that you need to exercise. All right, people. So people, I hope you found this information useful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you'll subscribe, you'll comment, and you'll keep coming back for more and more tutorials from me, won't you? You have a good day. Bye bye. Peace.